In 2022, Thomas Ashbourne made headlines for debuting an impressive lineup of celebrity RTDs. Today, we're going to taste them all. We'll be telling you which ones are worth your while and which ones you might want to skip. First up, we have the Perfect Cosmo by Sarah Jessica Parker, SJP for short. Then we have the After Hours Martini from Neil Patrick Harris, the Margalicious Margarita from Ashley Benson, Vanessa Hudgens, and Rosario Dawson, and lastly, the Old Fashioned from John Cena. But who exactly is Thomas Ashbourne? Allegedly, the man was a mixologist in the pre- and post-Prohibition era who was known for serving up impressively powerful and flavorful cocktails. Let's see if these live up to that. First up, we have the Perfect Cosmo by Sarah Jessica Parker, SJP for short. Considering the lower ABV of these products, it's safe to assume that they've already been pre-diluted, meaning you don't really need to shake them or stir them over ice to get the proper dilution. Just make sure that they're chilled or else it's probably not gonna be worth drinking. Let's give it a taste. Tastes like a pretty damn good Cosmo if you're asking me. It's a little sweet, so I don't know how many I'd really be able to have, but considering the size, one glass probably took about a little under half the bottle. You don't have to do any extra prep for it. Like I said, you can really just toss it right in a glass so long as it's down to the proper temperature you want it at. I don't know if about you. I don't really fancy drinking a warm Cosmo. It's not my thing. It's a little saccharine. So on the teeth, it can be a little fuzzy after a drink or two. That's not really my preferred style, but I know tons of people who love a sugary drink, and this would be right up their alley. Next up, we have the After Hours Martini from Neil Patrick Harris. Now this one, you do have to do a little bit of extra prep for, but don't worry, it's not much. Just make sure it's really well shaken. So let's get that done. But again, no ice necessary, no dilution necessary. Just open it and pop it in your preferred glass. Not bad. It's not super strong. Again, remember, this is the lowest alcohol offering of the entire lineup, so it's not going to be super powerful. If you're looking for something that packs more of a punch, probably got to make your own. That being said, this does taste like coffee. It tastes like a really nicely made espresso shot went into this, and it's pretty good. There's no hint of cream to be seen. I found that with a lot of the espresso martini ready to drink cocktails I've encountered, they really pack on that cream to kind of, I don't know, lessen things a little bit. Drinking straight coffee out of a can mixed with spirits can be kind of abrasive on the palate, but I do prefer no cream in my espresso martinis and really enjoy that this was made without it. Not super sweet, has a really nice coffee flavor, and it's not too strong, so you can drink a couple of them without worrying about your night getting away from you. For our third tasting, we're gonna taste the Margalicious Margarita, which is coming to us from a trio of actresses, Ashley Benson, Vanessa Hudgens, and Rosario Dawson. Now, while there's no extra shaking or stirring that needs to be done, we do recommend enjoying this over ice because who enjoys a margarita without any ice? And if you fancy, a sugar or salt rim would probably also be pretty dang good on this too. Let's see how it tastes. You can definitely taste some of that orange zest that they're saying is gonna come through. It's zippy, it's acidic, and I've actually tried this before today, and it's better than I remember it being. It's got some nice balanced sugar in there so the tequila and the lime juice doesn't get out of control. It's nice, it's super refreshing, and I think I would enjoy this pleasantly on a nice summer day. Lastly, we have the classic Old Fashioned, which was made in collaboration with John Cena. As somebody who really enjoys a freshly made Old Fashioned, I am skeptical about how one's gonna taste coming out of a bottle, especially without that prized Luxardo cherry to garnish. The color does pour kind of light, which again, makes me a little nervous, so let's give it a go. Okay, you can definitely taste the bourbon there. Seems like that Luxardo juice or something similar to it might have been incorporated right into the recipe itself, so there was no need to garnish. But that cherry or cherry-like syrup does convey a little too sweet on the palate for me when I'm expecting a very spiritus, bourbon-forward cocktail. If you're just dipping your toes into the arena of these high spiritus cocktails, you get a little bit nervous when you see one made with 2 full shots of bourbon. This is probably a really great place to start, especially if you don't have the time to make one for yourself or if you're intimidated to make one on your own. It's not horrible, so if you like these sweeter drinks, this is probably a great start, but it's not really my cup of tea. Of the bunch coming to us from Thomas Ashbourne, my favorite was probably the Margalicious Margarita from Ashley, Vanessa, and Rosario. I found it to be really sessionable, it's bright, it's refreshing, and it just begs for summertime. However, if Neil Patrick Harris's Espresso Martini had been slightly higher of an ABV, maybe somewhere in line with that 20-30% that the rest of the range comes to us at, that probably would have been my favorite. While these cocktails might not be as strong as the ones Thomas Ashbourne was allegedly making in his heyday, they do still have that flavor that we think the mixologist was known for. Be sure to catch us next time on It's Time to Taste. Cheers.